Start with Jim Ozarski.
Like, after the first quarter, what did you like about the defensive effort? Even especially on Lowry, I know he kind of got going there at the end of the fourth, but it felt like you guys were able to kind of clamp their offense down a bit.
Yeah, I think the defense in the second quarter, I think is a 21-point quarter. You know, it was maybe the difference in the game. You know, it just felt like we were competing. Everybody was together. You know, they're going to shoot a bunch of threes. You just got to try and make it tough on them, contest them, maybe get them off, you know, their spot, their rhythm in their threes. And, you know, we'll look at the film, but, you know, that defensive quarter, 21-point, was probably the difference in the game.
Did you have to have a conversation with the counting that we could hear in the arena when Giannis was at the free throw line, in terms of, you know, counting down seconds and things like that?
You know, I think what's going on in the games, there's, you know, people on the bench, and I guess that are doing and counting and things like that. So, you know, I think it's part of, you know, the game and what's going on with no fans, with no crowd. You can hear everything. So it's just, you know, I think we'll work through it, and it'll be part of probably life, you know, as we play this season.
Eric Name.
Just kind of take a look at the offensive execution late. You have that great possession where it goes Middleton to Giannis to the corner, all the way back to Middleton. Just what did you like about the trust Giannis kind of showed in his teammates tonight?
Yeah, I thought, you know, some of the ball movement, some of the togetherness was one of our better games, you know, so far. And Giannis attracts such a crowd, and we trust the pass and trust his teammates like he did tonight. You know, good things happen. And then there was, you know, sometimes it was another pass, and, you know, the shot, the possession you just described was huge. You know, Khris made a big shot, and we needed it. So, but I thought Giannis's spirit, the way he competed on both ends of the court, you know, he's really special tonight.
I think looking at one of the bigger sequences of the game, you have Donte attacking the rim hard with a dunk and then getting a steal and then fouled on that next possession. I guess just how big was that sequence? And then do you have an injury update on Donte, or kind of what happened on that play and how it was explained to you?
Well, you know, I was looking at the box score walking here to do the question. I'm like, Donte had the, you know, biggest 8 points of the game. I think he scored the first basket of the game, and then the dunk and the 2 free throws on the flagrant. It really was a critical stage, and the explanation for it not being a flagrant 2, you know, Rodney, I can't remember exactly what it just, you know, there was agreement from the people back in New Jersey or New York that it was a flagrant 1. The referees in the house thought it was a flagrant 1. They didn't think it reached the level of flagrant 2, and you know, we're obviously going to see things differently, and you know, maybe it will be reviewed, you know, tonight and tomorrow morning. But that's, you know, that's significant contact to Donte's head. You know, he was able to play through it. You know, I'm sure he's going to be a little sore. We'll kind of review, see how significant the hit to the head was.
Stora Stevenson.
Coach, I know you talked about the defense, but I want to go specifically to the fourth quarter. I don't know what timing it was, but there was a double team in the corner when Siakam had the basketball, and then Khris Middleton kind of anticipated the pass. What did you like maybe about that possession, and do you see yourselves kind of using that moving forward, and how good the activity was there?
Yeah, no, I think, you know, the players just kind of, you know, were reading and reacting. The ball was in a, you know, kind of a tough spot, and sometimes you can trap that corner, and then everybody just kind of was on a string, and Khris gets the steal. I think it ended up in a timeout going the other way, but still, you know, it's a stop and a critical point. We end up getting possession, and I think we scored. So, you know, Torrey, I thought, helped us defensively. I think Torrey was part of that sequence. You know, so I think good things are, you know, we're getting better defensively.
All right, we'll wrap up with Kane Pittman.
Hey, Bud, I wanted to talk about Giannis a little bit as well. He seemed so patient to me tonight in the way he was getting to his spots with the ball and off ball. And I'm just wondering, for a player like him, that's a 2-time MVP, has had the ball in his hands so much over the last few years, how you have found the adjustment for him, where in some situations he's not going to have the ball. And that seems like the type of thing that for some players they wouldn't accept that too well, and he seems to be rolling and fitting in. And how have you found that process with him?
Yeah, no, it's great. That's what makes him so unique and so special. He can play with the ball in his hands. He can play from the post. He can play from the nail. He can be the ball handler in pick and roll. And then obviously we've all seen him play, kind of the opposite role where, he's an incredible screen setter. He gets off the screens and puts pressure on the paint, puts pressure on the rim. He's just capable of doing a lot of things offensively. And I think he's finding, a good balance of doing all of those things. And just working through it and getting to a really good place. Thanks.
Man, comfort you had with Brook that's developed over the years, but tonight, really effective inside for him. And we've seen that these last few games. Is some of that him and you guys figuring out the spacing with the new offense and where he can fit sometimes in the paint to get inside?
I think it's a little bit of everything. Learning a new offense, finding new spots, but that's him also. Using his size, using his, whatever to advantage. He's a 7-footer that can score inside and out. So he does a great job of mixing it up, and I think that's what it's all about.
Is it strange to ask about that in a way? Because he's worked so hard and gotten so good at shooting the 3-ball that it's, he can, there's an all-star in there who can score in the paint as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, we call him, Brooklyn Brook from time to time when he used to command a double team off jump ball. He used to play in Brooklyn, so we know he's a beast down there, but he's also, a skillful player that can play on the perimeter some too.
Eric Name.
We've seen you guys use that high pick and roll with you and Giannis to kind of close out games before. You put a little bit of a twist on it with you two both at the free throw line. You could choose kind of which way you wanted to go. How did that change things up, and just what does that look like to you now with Giannis, comfortably rolling down the middle of the lane?
It's just a set that we actually run a lot. I think during the middle of the game, but it was working, so we used it at the end. It gives me a live ball to make a better or easier decision. But it's a lot of the same routes. Try to get the ball to Giannis in the pocket and let him make the play.
I guess you throw it to him a couple times with the bounce pass, and then you put that one up high to him. Just what do you think of that touch pass? And I guess for all of your teammates to have that same level of trust that it gets back to you for a 3.
He has great hands. You could throw it low, you could throw it high, you could throw it out of this world. He'll find a way to come down with it. He's a guy that he knows what he's about to come into. He knows a guy might be rotating over late. He knows the spacing where the guy's supposed to be. So he just whips it to the corner, whips it to the wing, knowing and trusting that somebody's going to be there for him.
Tom Akins, AP Radio.
Khris, talk about what was the real key to success tonight. You guys were able to control the game pretty much throughout. What would you say made the difference in this game tonight?
I think, executing our offense, getting stops on defense, even though they hit some tough late threes, but I thought we did a great job of executing the half court, getting the best look every time, and not really turning the ball over. We shared the ball. I think multiple guys had multiple assists, so that's great news, man. We're all moving the ball, getting the best shot for the team.
Let's do one more to Kane Pittman.
Hey, Khris, I think it was just the last 40 seconds in the end where Torrey came in for Brook. We haven't seen that sort of small ball lineup too often because he's been out, but I know all you guys like flying around on defense, being versatile. Have you sort of worked together in that 5-man group a lot in practice, and what do you think the potential is with that type of lineup?
We haven't had that, haven't had much time on the court, especially with Torrey. But tonight was good. I thought Torrey played a great game. We know what he brings to the table, and that's defensive specialist. He's a guy that flies around and offensively. He knows his spots. He knows how to get open, cutting for lanes and getting extra possessions for us. But we hope to see Torrey more out there because we know he could definitely help us.
Hey, thank you, Khris. Hey, Brooke.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. Thanks for asking.
All right, let's start with Jim Wazarski.
Hey, Brooke. Well, I guess we've talked a lot to your teammates about finding space and getting used to one another and where you're at in this offense. These last, 5-6 games for you, it seems like it looks more comfortable, or I mean, at least there's some looks inside, especially tonight. Does it feel that way, or is it appearing that way for you?
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, obviously, I'm sure you guys can tell you're smart and you see what's going on the floor. We've definitely been feeling each other out, learning how we all like to space on the fly in this new offense. And, you know, it's been really good for me, and I think for everyone to kind of figure out, you know, okay, if this guy has the ball, if like Drew has the ball, you know, I'm going to try to get to the dunker or something like that. Or when Giannis is there, you know, I'm going to try to space the corner. Whatever it is, you know, just finding those pairings, figuring out whoever has the ball, where everyone kind of is comfortable being in that situation.
Yeah, I hesitate to call it a throwback of sorts, but I mean, I think people have gotten used to seeing you make threes of late. Is it a little different that you're again, you know, commanding some attention inside offensively a little bit?
You know, it's whatever my team asks of me, and however I can help the team, honestly. You know, we have lots of great players who are unselfish and can make plays in the pick and roll and in transition and everything like that. And, you know, I'm just trying to catch and finish in those situations. Obviously, Drew, Khris, Giannis, Donte, everyone, you know, pretty much is on the floor is unselfish and great at making plays.
Zora Stevenson.
Coach Bud has said that he feels like you and Khris in the pick and roll or two-man game situation has made improvements. How do you feel like that chemistry has evolved over the last couple of years as you guys have gotten more comfortable with each other?
Yeah, it's definitely evolved. We've definitely gotten better and more comfortable with one another. And you know, he obviously commands so much attention and respect coming out of the pick and roll. And he's such a great playmaker as well. You know, as for me, I'm just trying to get a good hit on his guy, a good screen, free him up a little. And from there, he just really reads what the defense gives him. And he's so good at making plays out of that. You know, it just puts us at a great advantage.
And then Coach Bud talked about kind of a focus on screening with you. Is that something that they're like, is it a drill-oriented focus or is it more conversations? How have they gone about that?
It's something we can work on in drill, but it's just really like a constant reminder from Coach Bud, from Dar, from Ben, just from whoever it is, just really getting guys open, setting good screens. Because it frees the guard up, but at the same time, you know, it frees guys like Giannis to get to the rim. Someone has to help on the pick and roll, which frees up Giannis a little bit and just frees up everyone on the court. So focusing really on me, just getting good hits and getting out whether I'm rolling or getting to the three.
Eric Name.
I don't mean to make you jealous, but you guys had one of those beautiful basketball moments where you have Khris and Giannis in the middle, Giannis touch pass to Donte, Donte to Drew, Drew back to Khris for a three, and you were sitting in the corner for the whole time, so I'm sorry you didn't get to participate. But what did you think as you were kind of watching it unfold? Because it just felt like, we've talked about this before where you guys have those, but it was just another one.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not jealous at all because I got to watch it just like you guys, and it really was beautiful. I mean, it's great because it shows really who we are. You know, we're willing to pass up good shots, even great shots, to get the best shot possible, and we have tons of guys who are capable of making that possible.
You're no stranger to a short roll. I'm curious, what have you seen from Giannis as a playmaker in that spot? It feels like he's getting more comfortable in getting that touch in the short roll and then making a play, whether it's attacking or making a pass.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's been fantastic, and it just adapting that, getting used to that. And I mean, he's so intelligent, obviously. His basketball IQ is so high. You know, I was over in the corner when he was kind of talking about, you know, learning on the fly, making those adjustments, making those reads and everything like that. You know, to have his combination of athleticism, talent, and intelligence in that situation is just so huge for us. So if we just know we know we can get the ball to him in that position, in that short roll, that something good's going to happen.
Kane Pittman.
Hey, Brooke. First of all, after many years, I finally started watching The Office a month ago for the first time. So it's a lovely T-shirt. I want to talk about the defense. You guys, for the last few years, you know, we've spoke about it. You've done largely the same thing, and it's been so regimented, your scheme. It's been the number one in the NBA. But I'm just wondering what the challenge is, whether it's physical or mental in a game, to remind yourself that you are doing different things, whether it's switching onto LeBron, whether it's you moving up a little bit closer to the screener. Is that a significant challenge in game to remind yourself to do those things?
I mean, there's obviously typical times where, you know, we make errors or we're human and we forget the coverage, but, you know, obviously we try to keep those to a minimum, but we obviously have great people behind us who are helping. But, you know, I think that rigidity, like you mentioned, has definitely lessened a little. And guys are comfortable kind of playing on the fly, trusting their athleticism or their basketball IQ to make plays, and again, trusting that they'll have the help defense behind them in those situations.
All right, great. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you, guys.